Welcome to the Evolution of Gaming podcast in partnership with Horrible Night, where there's never enough time in the day for video games. Check them out online at horriblenight.com. The Evolution of Gaming podcast is where we take a look at video games from years gone by. We'll give you a little bit of history of the game as we play and also tell stories from our experiences with the game. I'm Andy Hunsucker, Mangler103 on YouTube, and joining me as always is Jason P. Thompson, jpthompsLP on YouTube.
Hello, everybody.
We play on the original hardware when possible, and as you can see today, we are playing Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo.
That is right.
And super it is, Jason. I think a lot of people would say the Super Nintendo is the best console of all time. Possibly.
Yeah.
Certainly the sort of most exciting, sort of the biggest breadth of great games. We try to not do all the classic hits on consoles, but I don't know if we can actually manage that on Super Nintendo because all the games that we have access to are just kind of classics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Super Mario Kart, one of my favorite games of all time. In fact, probably my top 5 favorite games of all time. And I'm just going to go straight to 150cc, Jason, because that's how I roll.
Hey, why not?
And I feel like the colors are off here a little bit, but maybe that's just my memory changing things.
Yeah, it looks about right to me.
Now, I always play with Donkey Kong because that is, again, how I roll. I like the big, heavy guys. Notice I've got gold in all of these because I literally played all of these that much. It took a while for me to get gold in all of those cups, but we'll just start here. Okay.
Of course, this style pretty much mimicked also by F-Zero.
Yep.
Same kind of idea. Really taking the interactivity between characters to a whole different level.
Yep.
Because really in that game you can only just sort of bump people, and I mean, this is totally different. And of course you've got the sort of top-down view at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, which was, it was interesting because... most people I think would sort of be like, well, I don't really care about that, but it kind of helps a little bit to see where everyone else is on the track. I don't know if this was the very first racing game to do this, but it was definitely an early version of that, and...
where's Mario at? Oh, well, he's like, really far away from everyone else.
So,
makes sense.
Yeah.
Of course, you got all the different power-ups. I mean, if you're not familiar with the series, basically you're just all, riding go-karts, and you can put down, banana peels, and you can get, certain, speed power-ups, and...
Yep. And you have to get within,
like Luigi there is pretty invincible.
Yep. And you have to get within the first 3 places to win the race, and I did not do that, so I have to start over. But I was close... but Jason, I must have played this game for at least a third of my life.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nuts.
Of course, you can do, multiplayer on this, but pretty much you're, driving against the AI, which in some cases might be more difficult, you know? Especially, in later, generations of the game, like the N64, really took it to a whole different level.
Yeah.
I'm actually a little bit more familiar with that version of the game. I probably played F-Zero way more than I ever played this game. Just wasn't sort of in the circle. Like my cousin and I really were into the F-Zero just because the cars look cooler and stuff like that. I don't know if I really ever knew anybody until later on that had this game. It's kind of weird. Wasn't really in the circle. I was aware of it, but definitely became more of aware of it, in 64 days.
Now, Jason, I've played enough to know how the game AI thinks. So when the game AI is always really good about cutting the corners just right. So what I would do is I would get, when I had an object to drop behind me, I'd make sure I'm right on that back, that edge there, so that people can actually see that right there. And the chances of someone hitting that are much higher. Because the AI was pretty good about just sort of, avoiding all of this stuff. They had extra cheaty stuff that they could do to keep you from winning. And so that was.
I mean, I can see here that you're just doing a wonderful job at winning these races.
I know. Well, I might, and I might remember here, I always did Donkey Kong on 100cc and 50cc, but I don't remember if I did him on 150cc. I might have done Yoshi on 150cc,
Sure.
because Yoshi had better acceleration. That's one of the things that's really cool about this game. You have all these different characters. Yeah, see? Eat it, Mario. And they all have different stats. Like, they all do different things better. So Princess and Yoshi accelerated fast, but they were slower overall. And then, that's right, I always did the Koopa.
Yeah.
Because he was, like, really kind of just normal. And I could just kind of have a star here, and I can just sort of zoom forward a bit. Better if I can hit somebody on the way. But see, like, Luigi right there did not pick up a star.
Sure.
He's just allowed to do that, which I always thought was kind of jerky. But now you can see I just did
made everybody tiny.
Yep, see that little fireball that he dropped? That is not part of the game. That's just something extra. And now I got 2 really good power-ups in a row, so I'm going to easily win this race.
Mm-hmm.
So the lightning bolts makes everyone small, and the star gives me invincibility. It makes me go faster. It makes the dirt not slow me down as much. So it's good. So I can easily win that race.
Yeah. Of course, there's other different modes. There's the time trial mode.
Yep.
Of course, the multiplayer mode. 2 people can go at it at the same time, and even battle mode, which I wasn't aware that it was in this game. Of course, it is a thing that I played religiously on the N64. Basically, you're just trying to attack everybody with power-ups until you destroy all their balloons. So essentially what they did was they just took the formula from this game and applied it directly onto the new hardware and software for the N64.
Yeah, and as far as I'm concerned, Jason, this formula is just genius. This was also, by the way, the first mascot kart racing game.
True.
Which now every video game mascot has to have a kart racing game.
Well, and of course, you got to think about it. This game was pretty much, one of the games that really took Mario to a whole different level.
Yes.
Into the sort of non-platforming series that Mario, of course, is known for.
Yep.
So, this would later on go into, Kingdom Hearts, stuff like that. Just games like that, just sort of like, okay, what are the things that we can do with Mario and his group of people?
Yep.
That's different.
Yeah,
this is certainly different.
This opened up Super Mario RPG. It opened up Mario Paint, which we also have. We might play. So yeah, I mean, the other thing, this has like shortcuts. Like if you know the shortcuts, you can easily win a lot of these races because you know where the shortcuts are and the enemies don't. Like that one through the grass, you got to have a special ability to get through there and still make up time. And there's different ones. I can fire a red shell and it will automatically hit the guy in front of me, which is great. Again, I'm going to have a good shot at... see, and that guy's about to throw something at me. And I'm like, nope, not going to do that. So it'll sort of show me when somebody's about to throw something at me, and he got ahead of me. But I still got second place.
Yeah.
So, and it's all based on like a Grand Prix style point system, so it'll show me here next time up how many points I got. So I've got 15, I think. 15 points, so I'm number 1 overall. But yeah, I mean, I literally could play this game for hours and days and hours. This is a ghost level, which was a thing in Super Mario World, which we also have, which we'll play eventually. Yeah. There's a lot of Mario games, Jason.
There are, but certainly, just the SNES really just took Mario to a whole different level. You got your traditional.
Oops. Ooh, jumped at the wrong time.
You got your traditional, side to side Mario game. And you get, quote-unquote 3D games like this. I mean, this isn't quite, 3D, but...
Yeah, this was like this SNES faux 3D sort of thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, and of course, if you look up stats on this game, you'll see that this sold quite a few copies. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it sold 8 million copies. And I think it's the 3rd best-selling... game on this console.
Yeah.
Which, of course, we are, as always, playing on original hardware. We've got ourselves a SNES. And what's really funny is as we were getting ready for this episode, I was actually turning on my original Nintendo, and I was telling Andy, I was like, dude, it doesn't make any noise. Because it freaks. I mean, it's like you're just used to, your modern consoles making a little bit of noise. Either, the CD drive spinning up, or the hard drive making some noise, or the power supply. These consoles were just super quiet. Outside of whatever.
I'm gonna try something. Oh, it didn't work. I thought I had enough juice to make that happen, but oh well. I'm out of contention now.
Whatever noise came out of the console was bad.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
I was just like, oh, it's not making any sound. Because I was like, is it even working? It was before I switched the input to the TV, and I was like, oh, I guess it is.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing I like about, let's end this and let's try something else. Let's just do some time trials to show off some of the different tracks. We should show some split screen stuff, Jason, just real quick.
And the graphics were called Mode 7 graphics.
Yes.
Now that I'm thinking about it. So, basically... Again, you're not going to invest that much stuff into just one game. Of course, it was later on seen in... Oh, yeah. Okay.
Hit start again.
Oh. Hello.
There you go. Don't know how good that controller is.
Yeah, it seems a little iffy, but...
Let's try something...
if I do poorly, that's what I'll blame it on.
Absolutely.
I always blame the controller.
Let's do a Bowser Castle one, because those are always interesting.
Of course, the Super Nintendo controller a little bit curvier, a little bit more...
Yeah, this is one of the best controllers of all time. Like, there's a reason that almost every controller you deal with now that is sort of flat like this has some relation to this particular controller, because it's kind of perfect. It fits in your hands just wonderfully.
I'm doing such a poor job.
Yeah.
But then again, you have been playing a few extra races than I have.
That's true. I'm back in the mode. Although, Jason, as I'm watching this now, I didn't realize how much motion sickness I would be experiencing. This is not a game if you've got, sort of that sort of illness you want to be playing a lot of. And it might just be because we've got this on my my HD TV and it's stretched out. Maybe if it was sort of normal sized, it would be...
Yeah, I don't know.
It would be better.
I certainly remember playing F-Zero a little too much.
Yeah.
Standing up too quickly, and then... I never puked, but...
Yeah. This is also, Super NES, I don't know if it was the very first console that did split-screen gaming, but it was definitely an early version of that.
Oh, I totally saw that, and I was like, I'm going to hit that. I just hit it.
Yeah. And I'm dropping shells behind me to frustrate Jason. Like, you've got the green shells that you can put in front of you, but one of those sort of little secrets of the game was, hit. One of the secrets of the game was that if you could drop turtle shells behind you, like an obstacle to stand backwards, because the red shells would home in on somebody, but the other shells would not. The green shells would not. So a good strategy is just drop them behind you so that you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to get stuck on those guys.
I'm not good at this.
Yeah.
Not at the moment, at least. Oh, I was much better at battle.
Yes, we'll switch to battle here in a second.
So I can prove how awful I'm at that too, now that I just said that. But of course, honestly, this might be the first time I've actually... I watched people play this game, but this might be the first time I've actually ever played this version of the game.
Yeah. Oh, I'm lapping you, Jason. You ran out of coins. But there you go. That's the 2-player version, and
yeah, weak sauce.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah. So let's get into the battle mode, which, again, this is like revolutionary. I mean, I don't. This is not something that people had access to.
Well, it's not
before.
like you could really sort of go at it in an arena-style game,
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's like 1,000 games just like this before.
Why did I think I picked Mario?
I don't know.
Strange. So how do you shoot things?
A.
Now, where are you at?
Oops.
There you are. Get on over here. Ah.
So you have the little balloons, and you're trying to knock the other guy's balloons off. Now I got a feather, Jason. We haven't seen that yet, but what it does is it makes you jump. So I can, like, jump over shit. Sorry, stuff. I didn't have any friends that lived close by when I was a kid, Jason, so I would actually play this mode by myself a lot.
Just turn the other controller on?
Yes, and I would actually, like, experiment with the physics of the game. That's how much I really liked this.
Gosh, I don't even see where you are. This sucks. I am getting a little, like, blah.
Yeah. But, so, literally, I figured out that if, depending on where a person, like, if you fired a red shell just right, it would basically orbit the other player. Like, and they didn't move. Like, if they moved, they were screwed. Like, it would hit them, but... otherwise... Yeah, those feathers were so cool back in the day, because if you get good at the game, then it was all of a sudden this new crazy thing that you could do. I've got a banana peel right here, Jason. Now the other thing you could do is you could fire banana shells forward, which another thing that you wouldn't. It's not in the instruction manual. It doesn't say, hey, like what. By the way, you know you can do this too, right? It's just something that you figure out by playing the game. Boom.
Lame.
Yeah. But yeah, I've literally put hundreds and hundreds of hours into this game. It might be my most played game of all time, to be quite honest.
This is literally the 10 minutes I've invested into this particular version. So you're welcome, everybody.
Yeah, and what's interesting, Jason, I can't stop this. You are in total control. You lost the match, so you now get to choose what we do next, which I think is kind of a cool thing. So I'll pick, who haven't we done yet?
Oh, I was
Bowser.
thinking, I thought I had Mario, but it's on the top. I get it.
Yeah.
I got it.
But yeah, this game is just one of those games that...
Even let you pre-accelerate, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah, well, if you do it right, you can, you get a boost. You get a bonus acceleration.
So you went with the biggest guy, and I went with the littlest guy.
Yep. Yeah, those little guys have the best... They're a little slow, but they have the best turning radius, which is good for those high-end 150cc races because the karts are just naturally faster. So...
It would be helpful if there was some sort of indicator on where the other player was.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just could get lost driving in circles.
I know. Although I'm noticing right now, Jason, that also another decent strategy is in these
How do you reverse?
I don't know, actually.
You just turn? There we go.
Yeah.
Just turn.
I don't know if you actually can reverse in this game, but another decent strategy, if you have a turtle shell and you just want to get rid of it, you just fire it, and it'll just sort of bounce around, and sometimes you'll get lucky and it'll hit somebody.
Oh.
But there's a limit.
It's certainly helpful to be a ghost whenever the other person can see exactly where you are.
I know. Well, yeah, I can't. I have no idea where you are. I mean, I guess I could sort of...
Just look down. I'm right there.
Oh, you stole my thing. Ah, now I stole your thing.
Oh, and I was literally the only setup shot I've had this whole time. I know people adore this game, but literally, I'm starting to hate it.
Aw. See, this one...
I did enjoy it. I mean, I do enjoy the N64 version, and obviously I see the appeal of this.
Well, I think the N64 version is like the most popular one just because it was this thing where it was, it was all of the... it was, so many... It was the 4-player version, and that was sort of the revolutionary way to do that because you could play with more people, but this one is definitely... It's like... You know, it's like the first... Oh,
Victory! Moral victory.
yeah, if you slow down for even a second, my shell's gonna get you. It was right on your tail. You must have outrun it. Oh, there it goes. Mutually assured destruction right there. So yeah, this wasn't as fun as a multiplayer game, but this was like one of my favorite. This might be my second favorite game of all time.
Yay!
Oh, you got me.
Hey!
All right,
We're not doing 2 out of 3.
We're not doing 2 out of 3, but I want to show one more course.
Sure.
Because it's the craziest course, and this was a course you could only get after you had beat the game. And it was the very last course. I'm going to go with Toad. So it's the very last course in the game, and every Mario Kart game afterwards has had a version of this, Rainbow Road.
Oh, yeah.
And the N64 version of this, I think, is a better version.
Totally.
But this is... Because the N64 version is way crazier.
Yeah. Well, the graphics are just better, too.
It's like... It basically... There's no border here, and...
Yeah, you just go off.
Yeah, you just go off the edge, and it's hard to see... Oh, see, there you go.
And it's honestly an acid trip.
It totally is. But, I mean, the N64 version looks better.
Oh, yeah.
Just because it...
But of course, this is all hindsight. If we were to, if we were to review this when it was just by itself,
oh yeah,
there's still an appeal to this, And then it makes me wonder why they never sort of did anything with like Excite Bike in like this fashion.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they could have done that. They could have just made this, but with motorcycles.
Sure.
And I would have totally played it because I loved Excite Bike.
Well, let's see. There was one version of Mario Kart where there were motorcycles, but I think it was. Oh,
but you get what I mean. Like, imagine if you could in this,
See, I can't move forward because I can't touch those guys.
The N64 version obviously had. Did it not have like hills and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of that's sort of the advancement of the series later on. But of course, this. I mean, like I said, you get that sort of that weird.
Oh my god!
That weird like shakiness to the course, and then like I don't remember there ever being anything like those guys like slamming down, or were there?
Oh yeah.
Were there?
Well, maybe not. Yeah, I mean they're
extreme.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
And that of course is something that they put into like, Mario 3. Those big. Of course, I'm not familiar with the names of them, like in the dungeons and stuff. They would slam down and stuff. That's essentially what these are.
Yeah,
so it's fun. They're bringing other elements, sort of these like weird, obscure elements, like the shells and the mushrooms and the Was a fireball ever a part of this?
Not officially. Bowser could drop one as the AI, but you couldn't do it as Bowser in any other context. Only the computer could do it.
Sure. But yeah, I mean, just a fun game. I mean, like I said, I knew people that played it. It wasn't sort of my cup of tea because at the time I was really like heavily involved in everything Genesis.
Yeah.
And of course, that's all I could afford. It's like you bought the one console. You were pretty much stuck with buying those games for it.
Yep.
And Genesis was the direction I went. And anytime I wanted to play an SNES, I would go to the store. I would play the demos.
Yeah.
Or I would just, play forever. I'm pretty sure, Super Mario World, it was the full version, and you could just play it. But of course, there's other people wanting to play.
See, this is like the biggest jerk in the world. Just dropped me right in front of a big pit, pointed directly at the pit.
And I didn't really have any friends that owned a SNES. Like my cousin owned one, but he lived many states away, so he got one for Christmas one year, and he happened to get F-Zero as a part of it, that and Pilot Wings,
and
I'm pretty sure Mario. So it's like those are the 3 games that I have the most experience with.
I mean, but I mean, you can see here that these are all my best times. So I did beat this as Donkey Kong Jr. at a minute 44. Not my best time today, but you could see.
Sure.
You can do a replay in here. I mean, this was the granddaddy of every single kart racing game you've ever played. There was no kart racing game before this. There's a lot of driving games, but nothing that was designed as like a cartoony sort of like, let's have fun doing this with, characters that you're familiar with and all that stuff.
Sure.
And I hope someday we'll get to Mario 64. We don't have Mario Kart 64. We don't have access to it right now, but
we'll get it.
We'll get it some way somehow because it's out there. But yeah. So I think that's going to do it for today's episode of the Evolution of Gaming podcast in partnership with Horrible Night, online at horriblenight.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Andy Hunsucker.
And I'm Jason Thompson.
And we'll see you next time.